Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
How fair is San Antonio code enforcement? Two of its officers are supposed to inspect more than 70 metal recyclers. The director of development services says ideally that should happen once a month. But as the night team's Avery Everett shows us, that's not always the case.
San Antonio codes for recycling yards could soon be rewritten. But some businesses wonder if new codes will make a difference.
It's not a bad thing as long as they enforce it equally upon everybody.
A spokesperson for San Antonio, District 5, says a council consideration request that would create a committee to review 2 chapters of city code is waiting to get put on the agenda of the Planning and Community Development Committee to move forward. The codes the CCR would review are one on fire prevention and the other on licenses and business regulations, all specifically to address used automotive recyclers and metal recycling entities. KSAT started looking into city codes late last year when neighbors reported concerns about Monterey Iron and Metal on Frio City Road. Multiple code violations nearly prompted the city to revoke its recycling license. Monterey is now in compliance, but questions about code enforcement came up during our investigation.
That's right.
So we took those questions to Michael Shannon,
stakeholder balance,
the director of the city's Development Services Department. He says about 70 recycling properties should be inspected about once a month, and that falls on 2 full-time employees.
How often do you think that that's actually accomplished?
You know, it's not an exact science.
Is budgeting a concern when it comes to the number of inspections that happen in a given month?
I think right now, we're okay.
But Daniel Hack at Texas Auto Salvage says it's a pretty sporadic process.
What does that look like from your perspective?
And when the city doesn't enforce them equally upon everybody, it hurts our business.
With these codes potentially changing, Hack says the city inspection process also needs a second look.
The city has total control over what they want to give you and what they don't want to give you.
What is your response to that?
Well, I don't think that's true at all. If we find violations, we give notices of violations.
As of now, no timeline has been set on this review process.
Just be fair across the board. That's it.
Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
All right, if you notice right now, Mia and I are both wearing purple. It wasn't an accident.
Nope.
It was planned, and that's because June is Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month.
Yep, we're supporting the more than 450,000 Texans living with Alzheimer's. Now, throughout June, the Alzheimer's Association is encouraging everyone to take charge of their brain health.
Yeah, the brain changes that cause Alzheimer's and dementia can begin 20 years or more before those symptoms appear. So exercise, diet, not smoking, challenging your mind, controlling your blood pressure, even keeping up a good social life
absolutely
could reduce your risk.
So make sure to visit alz.org for more information and also for a ton of resources for both patients and caregivers.
And I'm glad you mentioned caregivers because, I had a Solutionaries, our long form storytelling on that. We really focused on the wear and tear this takes on caregivers. The Alzheimer's Association right here in San Antonio, it's of South Texas. They offer caregiver support groups, patient access to support, and then they have classes.
Wow.
We were just talking about brain health. Those classes, one of them is brain health and how to have a healthy brain diet and things like that. So it's just so much out here, so much support if you're going through this.
Yep, great resources for sure. A lot of us probably have personal connections with Alzheimer's and family members, friends, things like that. So just important to be aware of that throughout the month of June. And something else, Courtney, that we know June brings is
the heat. It's already here.
See, she already knew. It's already here. Yeah, we topped off in the upper 90s earlier this afternoon. Hate to break it to you, more of these unseasonably hot summer-like temperatures are going to continue all the way through the upcoming work week. So here's a look at your Monday, starting off very muggy and warm, upper 70s, similar to this morning. Sure, a stray shower, not completely off the table. Most of us are going to stay dry. A high temperature near 98 degrees. But when you factor in the humidity, feels like temperatures could approach 105 in spots. Now, high pressure is going to be the main dominating feature of our weather pattern throughout this first full week of June, which means those high temperatures will continue to climb into the upper 90s and near the century mark, feeling even hotter with all of that moisture in place. And unfortunately, minus an isolated storm chance mainly south and west of our area tomorrow, we're looking pretty dry and quiet in the week ahead. So we're going to break down all those details, get you the latest coming up a little bit later on, Courtney.
All right, thanks, Mia. And it is always worth mentioning places all over San Antonio open as cooling centers with the return of this heat that Mia's been talking about for quite a while now. The city has a list of locations with weekend operating hours where you can go cool off. For a link to those locations and more warm weather resources, scan the QR code right there on the bottom corner of your screen. Well, a brush fire on the east side today had the full of attention of both city and county fire crews this afternoon. It was sparked near I-10 and North Foster Road sometime after 1. Crews had to attack it from several angles, and both city and county first responders were there because the fire was over city lines. Even some neighbors near the fire were taking matters into their own hands by at their homes, watering their fences that were close to the fire. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused that fire. Well, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, a disease that can make you allergic to meat, but it is real, and an aggressive species of ticks is spreading it around. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz on the Lone Star tick and how to protect yourself from its nasty bite.
Dean Cecil kept breaking out in hives, but he didn't know why.
We finally figured out that it was from eating beef or hamburger.
Even more bizarre, Dean's doctor told him the allergy was caused by a tick bite.
I pulled the tick off of me, and it was a light brown tick with a white dot on its back.
It was a Lone Star tick, not named for Texas, but for the distinctive star-like white splotch on adult females. While other ticks spread germs that cause well-known diseases like Lyme, a bite from a Lone Star tick can cause a range of problems.
With these ticks, you have to worry about more than just meat allergies. They can also spread diseases like ehrlichiosis, which, if left untreated, can damage the brain or nervous system, and the Heartland virus, which can cause fever, fatigue, and joint pain.
Lone Star ticks used to be found mostly in the southeastern U.S., but they're spreading. They're now even found in northern states and Canada. One key way to protect against any type of tick bite is to use an effective insect repellent. Consumer Reports recommendations include Ben's Tick and Insect Repellent Wipes, Ben's Tick and Insect Repellent Wilderness Formula Pump, and 3M Ultrathon Insect Repellent 8. Those all contain DEET. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
A bug spray on. Starting tomorrow is San Antonio's ISD summer meal program. The program will make sure students get breakfast and lunch while school is out for the summer. A number of campuses are participating, and you don't have to apply. It's open to students younger than 18, but some students under 21 also qualify. You can find more information about the program on our website, ksat.com. Now for a look at some of today's big headlines in your Nightbeat News Flash. At least 2 mayors from Texas border towns will be in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday for what's expected to be the announcement of a new executive order to curb the number of migrants allowed to seek asylum in the U.S. The mayors of Edinburgh and Brownsville are confirmed to be attending, but the White House hasn't revealed how many mayors have been invited. And history is on the brink of being made in Mexico. 2 women are the leading candidates in the Mexican presidential election, meaning Mexico is likely to elect its first ever female president. Claudia Sheinbaum, the former mayor of Mexico City, is going head-to-head with opposition Senator Xochitl Gálvez. This election making history in other ways, too. It is the country's biggest election ever, with 20,000 congressional and local positions up for the taking. And in Ohio now, 24 people recovering and 1 person dead following a mass shooting at a birthday party. Akron police say they've recovered 1 weapon and dozens of shell casings from the scene. They're trying to figure out what led up to the shooting, and quickly, because no suspects are in custody yet. And that's a look at your Nightbeat News Flash. The annual New York City Parade for Israel is taking on a new meaning this year. Thousands showed up to the parade today nearly 8 months after Hamas attacked Israel, triggering war, protests, and now calls for a ceasefire and the release of hostages. ABC's Morgan Norwood brings us to that parade.
A sea of white and blue flags with the Star of David, a sign reading "Bring them home." The annual New York City Parade for Israel along iconic 5th Avenue taking on added meaning this year. Bring them home now! Heightened security nearly 8 months after the October 7th attacks, the deadliest in the nation's history that led to the war in Gaza. Organizers calling for solidarity, strength, and the return of the hostages.
These are innocent human beings. Only because they're Jews have they been kidnapped. They're being tortured and put under horrible conditions. Please don't forget today.
The parade happening as a rift appears to be emerging between the U.S. and Israel over President Biden's recent address outlining a proposed ceasefire. An Israeli government official says Prime Minister Netanyahu's office was not informed about the announcement. Instead, they were told President Biden would just address hostage negotiations. Netanyahu saying a full end to the fighting in Gaza is a non-starter until their conditions have been met.
This was an Israeli proposal. We have every expectation that if Hamas agrees to the proposal, as was transmitted to them, an Israeli proposal, that Israel would say yes.
This as Israeli forces continue their offensive in southern Gaza. Israel's national security advisor saying he expects the war to continue through the end of the year. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, New York.
A wildfire burning in Northern California has the full attention of the state's fire system. Everything we know about the fire coming up next on the Nightbeat. A string of overnight crashes led to 3 different deaths on San Antonio roads overnight. Here's a map of where they all happened. All 3 happened early this morning within about an hour of each other. Now, let's start with the west side with the deadly hit and run. Police there say a driver in an SUV hit and killed a 50-year-old man near West Cesar Chavez and Old Highway 90 before 2 this morning. Then the driver took off. The man hit died at the scene. No word yet on his name. Meanwhile, when that driver is caught, they'll be charged with failure to stop and render aid. Now to the south side, where police are trying to figure out what led to this deadly crash on I-10 near the I-37 southbound ramp. Investigators say the driver, 50-year-old Antonio Gonzalez Almeida, had drifted into some grass before sliding into a metal highway structure around 2 a.m. Almeida died at the scene. No word yet on how that crash happened, but we do know no other cars were involved. And finally, San Antonio police say a man died after he crashed into a highway barrier separating the main lanes from an exit ramp on Highway 90 near South General McMullen. It was just after 1:30 this morning when officers found the man dead at the scene. This is the second time someone has died in a traffic incident in that area in the last 2 weeks. To Northern California now, where a wildfire has hurt 2 firefighters and shut down a major freeway. CAL FIRE saying that more than 14,000 acres have burned and the fire is still less than 50% contained. ABC's Melissa Adon is in Los Angeles with the latest on the efforts to stop that spread.
California's peak wildfire season is starting off in a big way.
It's traveling back from vacation and there's a fire on 580.
The Corral Fire, a major grass fire burning about 50 miles east of San Francisco.
North flank is starting to jump over Interstate 580.
Interstate 580, a major freeway, shut down for hours. It started near that interstate Saturday afternoon and quickly spread. You can hear the strong winds. Firefighters say that combined with high grass is fueling it, but we don't know yet how this started.
We have investigators that are making their way out to the incident now. Once they get some eyes on it, we'll be able to start to piece together some cause and origin. But for right now, it's too early to really pinpoint anything. 2 firefighters injured. They're being treated at a hospital with mild to moderate burns and are expected to be okay. People who live in the area urged to evacuate.
One structure on the ground. Not sure whether it's a garage or a house.
Firefighters saying with the wildfire season just starting, this is a good reminder to always be ready.
In the event that you do get a evacuation order, have that go bag ready with your important documents, your pets ready to go, so that if you do get that phone call, it's a very quick process to get out the door and out to safety.
Crews battling gusty conditions, working to contain the blaze, and now there is concern it will only get more difficult with the extreme heat expected in the area this week. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
So parts of the West Coast seeing wildfires, the central United States over the past several weeks seeing different clusters of severe thunderstorms working through. And even into the Lone Star State, it seems like the Dallas area, even Houston and closer to Austin, has just seen round after round of rain. While meanwhile, here in south central Texas, while we've gotten a few showers and storms here and there, we've really just been dealing with the heat over the past several weeks already, thanks to that high pressure system off to our south that's just been in control a little bit too much of our weather pattern. And that was the case today. Take a look at some of the high temperatures across south central Texas since midnight. We got up to 99 degrees earlier this afternoon here in the Alamo City. Several areas along and west of I-35 were able to climb into the triple digits. It was 102 in Cotulla, 100 in Del Rio, same over in Hondo, Uvalde, as well as Eagle Pass. I do think a few areas again will be able to hit the 100-degree mark tomorrow. For us here in San Antonio, we're going to shoot for a forecast high of 98, close to the century mark Tuesday and Wednesday, but pretty much topping off near 100 degrees throughout the upcoming work week. That's going to be the common theme. For context, the average high for this time of year is 91, so we will continue to be well above that throughout the upcoming week. Let's go ahead and talk about that setup. So we've got an area of low pressure moving across the Texas Panhandle. Some disturbances out ahead of that have sparked up a large cluster of strong storms moving right along the Texas-Louisiana border. Most of that is going to stay well east of our area through the overnight. As that continues to work eastward, our focus then shifts to this high pressure system by Wednesday. That's really going to start building closer to the state of Texas. Watch what happens into the back half of the week. It moves over the Lone Star State. We see sinking air associated with those high pressure systems, which allows those temperatures to crank on up. So summer-like heat is in store over the next several days as a result. So let's talk about tomorrow. This all starts again with our Monday. First thing tomorrow morning, stepping out for the morning drive, it is going to be warm and it is going to be muggy, much like what we've seen over the past couple of mornings. 78 degrees, the low temperature by 7 a.m. here in San Antonio, 75 in Comfort, 77 for places like Castroville, Hondo, and Sabinal out west down Highway 90. Mostly cloudy skies in store throughout the first half of the day. By lunchtime, I think we'll start to see a few breaks in some of that cloud cover, some more peaks of sunshine taking us into the afternoon, warming up to near 90 for any lunchtime plans. There's that high temperature around 98. Notice your feels like temperatures already into the afternoon, climbing upwards of about 105 closer to Bexar County and San Antonio. In terms of those actual air temperatures, as we mentioned just a few minutes ago, I think some areas, especially south and west, will be able to climb into the low triple digits. But we're still dealing with the humidity. Y'all know the drill when it comes to that. When you factor in that moisture on top of these already hot temperatures, it is going to feel like the triple digits for all of us by 5 p.m. tomorrow. So make sure to stay hydrated and be careful out there in that heat. And really looking ahead over the next several days, very minimal rain chances at best. We've kept a 20% potential in the forecast tonight for a few isolated showers. Most of that activity now dying out. We had a few storms over there in Valverde County. By the way, this green that you're seeing in Uvalde County near Concam, that's left over from the bats now leaving the Frio Bat Cave. 'Tis the season for that activity we'll continue to see. We will monitor those clusters of storms we were already keeping tabs on out there in northeast Texas. Again, most of that is expected to miss our area by a large margin, and you can see it's just not looking too great in terms of notable rain chances throughout the remainder of the week, minus a 20% potential tomorrow evening. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth, Courtney, coming up in the next half hour. Plus, it is now hurricane season officially. We're going to break down some stats and the outlooks for the season coming up a little bit later on.
I love how within a week, everything just hits at once.
Yep, here we are.
Summer season, it's hot, hurricanes, it's always the same. All right, thank you, Mia. We will be right back with a preview of Instant Replay. Well, the San Antonio Brahmas wrapped up their regular season yesterday with the chance to earn home field advantage for the first round of the UFL playoffs. The Brahmas did fall short. For a preview of what's coming up on Instant Replay, Mary Rominger joins us, and that's no good. But, you know, they're still going.
It was a devastating loss, yeah. I will say that, and it was a hard way to lose. The Brahmas were in St. Louis with first place in the XFL conference on the line. It was a thriller that came down to the final possession, but San Antonio failed to complete the comeback.
Let's take another look at this. Oh, boy.
Oh, that's going to be overturned.
That looks across.
That's going to be overturned. Kurt, when we're in break, this lead's going to change.
2 minutes to play. Brahmas take the late lead with a 2-point conversion until the Battlehawks use their super challenge to question an ineligible receiver. The challenge was successful and the Brahmas fall 13-12. Now they prepare to face the Battlehawks again for the conference championship. The Johnson Jaguars are headed to Dell Diamond to continue their quest for the 6A state hardware after defeating O'Connor in convincing fashion in the 6A Region 4 title game. We'll show you how the Jags got it done.
Burton sends it fair down the third baseline.
It took extras to decide the winner in last night's playoff edition of the Lone Star State Showdown between Texas A&M and Texas. The Aggies prevailed in the 11th inning to advance to the regional championship. Meanwhile, the Longhorns were knocked out of the tournament this evening, falling to the Ragin' Cajuns in the elimination bracket. And our play of the week went viral last night. You don't want to miss seeing the fashion in which Weslaco won their first ever state softball championship. And be sure to vote for this week's instant replay poll question. Who do you think will win the NBA title, the Mavericks or the Celtics? Vote on the instant replay page of KSAT.com. All that and more coming up on instant replay at the top of the hour. Do you know who you have winning the NBA finals?
As long as if it's on ABC in front of a Nightbeat show, I just care that it ends on time. Good luck to all of the teams involved. Play quickly. From your Nightbeat team, we love you. We'll be right back. These days, you hear the word boundaries a lot when talking about well-being, but what does that mean? Boundaries are rules or expectations you put in place that make you feel safe, respected, or free to be yourself. One type of boundary is consent, the ability to decide who is allowed in your personal space. Parents and experts say it's important to teach kids these concepts as early as possible so they are less likely to be taken advantage of, either in relationships or by perpetrators. I know this can be a difficult and uncomfortable thing to think about, but our Solutionaries team found out this is a major key to forming a future generation that is more confident, secure, and free from abuse.
Katie Zeck embraces the love and chaos of motherhood with a 4-year-old, 2-year-old, and another due in the fall.
I can lose sleep over thinking about safety and making sure we're teaching them how to be safe.
So she and her husband Jordan make time daily to teach their little ones about physical boundaries. Not an easy task with toddlers.
My oldest son has a lot of energy, and he is just, he's gonna be more aggressive, even playfully, and so we're really trying to teach him to respect other people's bodies.
Those lessons come with simple body awareness.
It's even teaching them, this is your body. And these are the parts of your body that are just for you. Nobody else is going to touch them.
She knows these teachings will lead her kids to healthy relationships.
This is what consent is about.
That thought process echoed by sociologist, intimacy speaker, and relationship coach Jennifer Gonzalez.
There's that basic body autonomy and body respect in others. It's so simple but so profound.
Animated and passionate, Gonzalez focuses most on young adults and safe dating relationships.
Talking to your teenagers about always knowing that they can never read someone else's mind. You can never assume what someone else wants or likes.
She understands the things she's teaching at a very personal level.
I had experienced situations in sexual context where I was feeling pushed and pushed. And I kept saying, no, I don't want to do that, and just feeling pushed. And then I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this.
At the time, she had a foundation built on boundaries, so she was able to understand they'd been violated.
I knew I didn't do anything wrong in that moment. I know I had clearly communicated that, held him responsible and said, what was that?
She said that preparation and self-confidence can eliminate shame, which often festers into silence.
And when you set that up from a young age of being like, no, if anyone else does this, they are the bad one, not you. Like you don't end up, taking on that shame.
Gonzalez wants other young adults to have those skills too, with age-appropriate lessons.
You start that at a young age, it is so normal to them that no one touches them without their agreement. And if somebody does, then they know it's wrong, and then they go talk to somebody about it. Like that's just their normal way of viewing the world. child and touch. And then they're also understanding, like, and then I don't do that to anyone else also.
She coaches young adults on what to say when laying down their boundaries.
Embrace the awkward. I can't emphasize that enough. To put up a boundary is to say something like, oh, no, like, I'm not interested in doing that because I want to feel comfortable and enjoy this situation. I want to be with you, I want to enjoy you, and I want to feel comfortable.
Embracing the awkward also goes for parents and caregivers, trying to make sure their older kids know how to be respected physically.
Anything that you're afraid to talk about, say that. You're like, I feel awkward doing this. I feel vulnerable. My parents didn't do this for me, but I love you so much. I want to do things differently.
That honesty creates confidence they can rely on when they go out into the world.
And they're at a party, they're in high school, they're in college, they're off on their own. You've taught them the skills of how to reflect on something in a situation, how to handle difficult things so that they can make the healthiest choices for them.
Without these tools, kids can end up in some scary situations.
Now here's the part where we gotta talk about a subject that feels icky. Child sexual abuse. As uncomfortable as this topic is, we have to start talking about it because that is the first step to stopping it.
How can we even prevent it if we're not addressing it?
Randy McGivney is the president and CEO of ChildSafe, a nationally recognized organization right here in San Antonio that offers support to children who have been abused or traumatized.
Getting into that uncomfortable space as adults could actually cause solutions for our future generations.
If we don't address the issue and we're not honest about saying words like child sexual abuse, we're not normalizing the issue. We create a safer environment for children to feel like maybe they can come forward, that I am going to be listened to, that I am going to be believed.
He says perpetrators prevail by silencing victims, so our voices are what will stop their crimes. But it also starts with prevention and the role parents or caregivers can play starting when our kids are young.
The evidence and the research shows that the earlier you start to have these conversations with young children, the better outcome it has for preventing child abuse.
Those age-appropriate lessons include learning the anatomical names of body parts instead of nicknames. It reduces body shame and allows kids to be very specific if they have to explain that someone did violate them. Other safety lessons mean breaking habits many people grew up with.
We would leave my grandmother's house and my parents would be like, oh, go give your grandmother a kiss or go give your tia a kiss. That's not necessarily a safe thing. It teaches children that they don't have control over their bodies. And so what am I telling you that I'm forcing you to go and hug or touch somebody that maybe you don't feel comfortable hugging or touching?
If they clearly don't want to give hugs and kisses, maybe ask them if they want a fist bump or a wave instead.
We're not saying the way you grew up is wrong. It's just we know better now about how to keep our kids safe.
We know just through research.
And that research has allowed ChildSafe to find solutions when it comes to prevention.
We have a primary preventative program here at ChildSafe where we do go into the community and we will work with children around having those conversations. We will work with adults and teach adults how to have those conversations.
And if you can't make it in person, all you have to do is jump online.
This is a live webinar, so you're going to actually be able to engage with our staff, ask questions, do those types of things. Oftentimes we'll put a recorded webinar online as well.
And McGivney wants families to know if abuse does happen, there are so many resources.
These are all therapy offices.
Every one of these are therapeutic offices here. We have about 16 full-time therapists.
A strong team that works to change the trajectory of children's lives by treating trauma and preventing it, to promote healthy, beautiful relationships sooner than later.
This will affect their careers. You know, it affects so many different parts of their life. If they can learn how to have boundaries for themselves and have boundaries with other people, then they're gonna succeed in a lot of different ways.
And that's all any parent can ask for. Kids who grow up understanding themselves, respecting others, and being able to love safely and fully.
If you want to take one of ChildSafe's prevention classes, they are open to everyone, so you can just head to their website. And if you or a loved one is a sexual assault survivor, reach out right now. Whether this happened recently or years ago, help is waiting for you. You can contact ChildSafe, the Rape Crisis Center, or call the National Helpline. We have all of that information on KSAT.com and our Solutionaries YouTube page. Well, coming up, failure to launch. After several failed attempts, the Boeing Starliner is still standing on the launch pad. When it might finally lift off. Next on the Nightbeat. After several failed attempts, Boeing Starliner is still on the launch pad after its launch was scrubbed just minutes from takeoff. The delay blamed on a ground computer, which is not under Boeing's control. The spacecraft was slated to head to the International Space Station on Saturday, carrying 2 NASA astronauts. Johnny Fernandez explains what comes next.
Operation 80. LC switch is not ready. Clock stopped at T-minus 3 minutes, 50 seconds.
With less than 4 minutes left on the clock, the liftoff on Boeing Starliner scrubbed.
Hold.
The launch derailed by a problem with the ground launch sequencer.
And that's a computer that controls things like retracting umbilicals and the pyro vents that release the bolts at the base of the rocket so that when ignition happens, the rocket is free to fly away and do its job.
This was the Starliner's second attempt in a month to send humans to the International Space Station.
We got really close. It didn't work for us.
This historic mission is a critical part of NASA's Commercial Crew Program, meant to replace the agency's now defunct shuttle program. The next available launch window is Wednesday, June 5th. Johnny Fernandez, ABC News, New York.
Looking outside with live cam back here in South Central Texas. Temperatures right now in the mid-80s after we were in the upper 90s and low triple digits out there earlier this afternoon. We had plenty of sunshine. I actually love this photo that was sent in from our friend Skywatcher. It may be hot, but the clouds are pretty. Yep, we did see plenty of that sunshine. I think it'll be pretty similar again looking ahead to tomorrow afternoon. By the way, UV index is going to be extreme again. So if you don't have properly covered skin with the sunscreen, only takes 10 minutes to start developing a sunburn. Here are some other good tips to remember heading into the upcoming week with the heat. Drinking plenty of water, applying sunscreen every 2 hours, wearing lightweight, loose-fitting, light-colored clothing. Again, taking regular breaks in the shade and never leaving people or pets, of course, in a vehicle because those temperatures really ramp up very quickly. Still a lot to talk about when it comes to, yes, hurricane season, which is now officially underway. And also, we're going to get you a recap of how May tallied up in the weather department after the break. Welcome back, everyone. As promised, we're going to detail a little bit about the upcoming 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. It officially started yesterday, and we've got a few months ahead where we're really going to need to be monitoring what happens in the tropics, specifically the Atlantic Basin and, of course, the Caribbean. You can see this is the timeline. So we're there where we have that white bar with the "We Are Here" font on there. It does peak around September 10th, and then hurricane season officially runs through November 30th. Now, we typically look at a couple of different forecast outlooks that are put out specifically from NOAA and then Colorado State University. Both of these institutions and organizations are calling for above normal season, citing a few different things. La Nina is expected to return, also lower wind shear, lower trade winds across the Atlantic, near record warm ocean temperatures, and also frequent amount of waves of energy coming off the coast of Africa. All of these ingredients combined could lead to an above normal season. This does not necessarily mean, though, that we will see an above average number of tropical systems make a direct impact to the United States. It's just something that we will need to monitor over the next several months. This is the latest, though, from the National Hurricane Center. As we take a look at the tropical satellite over the Atlantic, nothing is expected to develop over the next 7 days. Of course, we'll continue to keep you posted on all of our platforms throughout the summer season and into the fall. By the way, the first 3 names on the list for this season, Alberto, Beryl, and Chris. So this is just something to think about as we move into the month of June. Let's backtrack a little bit, though. In case you missed it, I want to get you the latest on how May shaped up here officially in San Antonio. Our rain total, just under an inch. It's actually about about 3.5 inches below the average amount of rainfall that we see here in the San Antonio area. May typically is our wettest month out of the year, and unfortunately we didn't have a lot to show for it this year. In terms of our temperatures, our hottest high was 102, set back on May 25th. Our coolest low, 61 degrees, set back on May 14th. Overall, though, when you average all of the daytime highs, the morning lows together, we were 5 degrees warmer than average. May of 2024, the fourth hottest May that we have on record. Now looking ahead to the month of June, around this time, our average high is 91, our average low is 71. By the end of the month, our average high climbs a couple of degrees to 93. Our average low sits at 74. The average amount of rainfall about 3.28 inches. So hopefully we'll see a pattern shift over the next couple of weeks to introduce some slightly better rain chances, because unfortunately for the foreseeable future, at least throughout the upcoming work week, don't have a lot to show for it either. Very, very minimal. Most of us staying dry. 86 degrees right now here in San Antonio. It still feels like 91 if you were to step outside, because we have the moisture in place. Again, we're going to start off in the upper 70s first thing tomorrow morning. Mostly cloudy skies, partly cloudy for lunchtime plans. 89 degrees at noon. We've got that high temperature topping off right around 98 with feels like temperatures in the triple digits. Gets a little bit hotter the farther south and west that you go. Triple digits are expected, especially across portions of the Winter Garden and closer to the Rio Grande. That's also the area tomorrow evening where we're going to keep a 20% potential for a few isolated storms to pop up, mainly south and west of San Antonio. Hopefully we get something though, Courtney, because you can see after that it's kind of slim pickings around here, with the heat continuing to be the big story as that high pressure system moves overhead.
Yeah, we've had that heat in the last week or so, but at least the rain chances were there.
Yep.
So we'll take what we can get. Thank you, Mia. Well, with no new wide releases in theaters this last weekend's three big movies renewed their box office battle with a different outcome. Find out early estimates for the top 5 films next on the Nightbeat.
Why are you here?
I think there's been a misunderstanding.
The Fall Guy stayed in 5th place, hitting the 80 million mark domestic with a $4.2 million weekend. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes made $8.8 million for 4th place and $140 million domestic. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, fell from 1st to 3rd, earning $10.75 million for a 10-day domestic total of $50 million.
Hi.
Well, looky.
If moved up to 2nd place, crossing the 80 million mark with ticket sales of $10.8 million.
Shred sequence initiated.
The Garfield movie rose to the top spot, earning $14 million for a 10-day domestic total of $52 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
These are movies that would bring me to the box office. Okay, sports now. OTAs have come to a halt, and next mandatory mini camps are on the horizon for both the Dallas Cowboys and the Houston Texans. Mary Rominger is back in the studio to give us a preview of what's on Instant Replay.
Yes, right now, Courtney, there's plenty of intrigue for different reasons in both camps, Dallas and Houston, respectively. The Cowboys are preparing for a running back by committee approach this upcoming season, and the Texans are having fun with their abundance of offensive talent.
We all got different games. You know, we go 2x2, 11 personnel. They don't know who on the field. And then we come out and another 3. You know, I feel like just as a unit, as a receiver room, we got the pieces we need.
The Houston Texans have made plenty of additions in free agency this offseason, and fans are chomping at the bit to see Stroud and company in action. They're even using the word Super Bowl. Meanwhile, the Cowboys are changing the game plan at running back. A shared approach is what we could see in Dallas next season.
Jefferson Hindman, Cariaga gives it a go. Kendall McIntosh there. Marlin, what a save!
SCFC earned 3 points in front of their home crowd at Toyota Field last night, 1-0 against Memphis 901 FC for the club's first victory since late April. We'll hear from goalkeeper Kendall McIntosh after he recorded the clean sheet. Also, the San Antonio Brahmas' 1-point loss to the St. Louis Battlehawks was filled with drama, and it cost San Antonio home field for next week's XFL Conference Championship. The Oulu softball team won a program first NAIA national championship. The NBA Finals matchup is set. That and so much more is coming your way soon on Instant Replay.
Just trying to count all of the sports you were talking about.
So much going on.
So many different. You've got this. All right. Thanks, Mary. We'll be back right after this.